It's not only about the swimming pool, nor is it about the gym center or gym house or the smart home features or even a sports arena where you can do all of that. It's not really about all of that. Nor is it about the beautiful infrastructure that these elite estates have. There are silent advantages that the elite have in mind when they invest or buy things like this. And in this video, I'll tell you about 3 of them, and I'm sure it will blow your mind. Now, this is what it is really about. Number 1, the default standard of success. Now, when the elite or people invest or buy from locations that are elite and high end, it's not just about those beautiful features that you see, swimming pool and all of that. No, it's the standard they are setting for themselves mentally, socially, and all around. They understand that living in an elite community or in a community where certain kinds of people are, it raises the standard for them. And as you know in life, you don't fall anyhow. You only fall to the standards you have set for yourself. So the higher they increase their standards, when they fall, they only land on that standard. So they surround themselves with people who are like-minded. Talk about high-end doctors, talk about commissioners, talk about expatriates, people who are working in the international space, who really enjoy the good things of life. So they set that standard for themselves so that when time in life comes, and maybe that point in life when life tells you, you know, you're not deserving of these good things, and you look around and see other good people enjoying these good things, you say, what's the difference? I should enjoy such things too. So they place certain standards around them that help them live out the kind of life they desire for themselves. It's not something they vocalize, but this need is something that's deeply seated in most people that make them go for elite places, not just the infrastructure. Number 2, low friction networking. What does that mean? But before I go ahead to talk about this, let me share something that relates a little bit to number 1. So a story was told about a young woman who really desired a lot for herself, because most times when you hear investment, buying of houses and land, we think it's just family people or men. Women can actually buy properties. So it was told about this woman. She was single, actually, loved the good things of life, wanted to live in the best places. And people were like, young woman, don't do that. If you buy this big house for yourself or live in this very big area, who will marry you? No man will marry you. Men will be afraid of you. They will think you're too successful and too ambitious. But guess what? She ignored all of that and went ahead to buy for herself a very mighty house in a very prestigious area right here in Nigeria. Keeping aside all the fears and all of that, what people said, who will marry you? But guess what happened? The person that eventually married her was the person living across the street who lived in a house bigger than her own. Now that brings me to number 2, low friction networking. Now for the lady, I believe if she listened to people and probably stayed in where she was staying, her comfort zone, don't live too big. I mean, so I will not scare away men from my life. That man that lived in a bigger place would never had seen her. I want to believe that it's first of all started off by him saying, who is this woman living here all by herself, young woman? See her once in a while, taking her jog, is jogging. They say, hello, hi, good morning, good morning, good morning. And from there, a few things happen and then, boom. Now, the elite understand that living in the same community gives them access to certain kinds of people. It reduces the barrier to communication, to networking with certain kinds of people. Their kids can network with the kids of other people, and then maybe they may not be even interested in themselves as parents, but the man just notices that this child is well behaved. This is a very well behaved child. Who is your father? Who is your mother? Boom! It's a stroke. Just like that. They understand that life can be really easy with the right network, and this is what they invest in when they buy from luxurious or elite communities. It is not just the structure, like I said. Number 3, psychological security. In Nigeria, in Abuja, in Africa as a whole, if not the whole world, you hear a lot of people say, please, I care about my mental health. My mental health is important to me. The elite understand this very, very well. And that's why they don't just buy a location or invest in places that where everything just look good. They think about the psychological security. Living in a place where you don't have to necessarily pray all night so that robbers and certain things don't happen to you, your family, or whatever is key. They can spend that time that you would have invested in praying for security, or in thinking about if your children out there are sick, or in thinking about if you're going to be robbed soon, can invest that time in something else, in movie time with family, in studying if you're a single person, in growing your career and all of that. It gives them more psychological budget. It gives them more opportunities to use their mental abilities to progress in other areas of life. So psychological Calm down. So, psychological security is a silent advantage that people buy or invest in when they invest in elite communities or elite estates. And before I go on, I always like to give you an extra. I mean, why just give three when I can give more? I'll just give one more, a bonus point, which is global literacy. So living in communities like this, in elite communities, you are exposed to a whole lot of people. You're exposed to people who have traveled, who are well traveled, who are also well read, and who will say things that you never had naturally thought and help you grow beyond your career or sphere of knowledge. For instance, growing up for me, there are certain things I never heard because of where I grew up. Say things like VC venture capitals, things like international law, things like international etiquette, airplane etiquette. Because where I grew up, I mean the language there was, but by the time I began to expose myself to certain communities, I hear certain things and I'm curious and I want to learn more and I become a better global communicator. So I can literally communicate in any space, not just because of where I grew, but because of where I began to expose myself to. And the elite know that their communication in a space would affect them globally as well. So elite communities get you exposed to a whole lot more than just the infrastructure and all of that. They understand the art of redefined living. And that is what people are actually investing in or buying when they think of signature residence. They know it's beyond the swimming pool it comes with. They know it's beyond the gym house, beyond the central gas system, beyond the smart house features, beyond all of those beautiful things. They understand that it has to do with psychological security. They understand that it has to do with global literacy. They understand that it has to do with raising the standard of success. They understand as well that it has to do with increasing or decreasing the friction in networking with high class people. These are the silent advantages that the elite know, and today we have exposed them. So if you're wondering, for instance, why should I spend 190 million naira in a 3-bedroom apartment in Wuye in the signature residence, your mindset should shift now, because you should understand it's not just the unit of 3-bedroom apartment that you are buying, but you're also buying all of what we have mentioned, these silent advantages. So here at Signature Residence, we have 3-bedroom apartments, which the price I just mentioned, now sitting at 190 million naira. And there's also the 5-bedroom semi-detached duplex. There's the fully detached duplex, a 6-bedroom, and the 8-bedroom fully detached as well, which is sitting around 1.4 billion naira. The elite understand it's beyond the infrastructure or location they're buying. Those silent advantages mean much more than whatever. So if you have been wondering why Signature Residence, why really should I invest here? I'm very certain that by now you understand it's more than the location and the structure, but all of what we have mentioned. So if you have been thinking of a way to invest in Signature Residence Wuye, all you have to do is call the phone number on your screen and we'll get you started on locking in on apartments, terraces, or fully detached duplexes before they get sold out, because Wuye is now one of the most desired locations right here in Abuja. Just call the phone number on your screen and we will gladly help you lock in on psychological security, global literacy, on low friction networking, and increase your standard of living. We're looking forward to get a call from you now.